I lived through a consequence of probably neglecting my body, neglecting how I was doing it, right? Because again, it's one thing that leads to another. So obviously we have our cells, which again, people think that they just replenish themselves. No, you have to feed them. When
You
once
need to
you
feed.
start to feed them, and I do that through activation
Mhm.
versus supplementation, then you start to reap the benefits and see the results.
If you don't know me yet, I'm Robin Thomas, founder of Living Well Connections, a healthy living community that supports, educates, and empowers us all to make healthy decisions toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. I have a background in medical research, and I love exploring the interplay of our physical, mental, and spiritual selves. Suze Pinto, the founder of Living Well, is passionate about helping individuals achieve their best health. Living Well's focus is to guide others to their best well-being through her affiliation with a biotech company in order to educate people on the difference between activation versus supplementation and how oxidative stress affects your body. Her mission is to support individuals to feel, look, and sleep better by promoting optimal health, which could ultimately lead to a healthier and more fulfilling life. Hi, Suze. It's so wonderful to have you join me today in this podcast. I'm really excited about learning more about you and about more of what you have done to make a transformation in your own health. Can you share a little bit about your own experience that's led you to where you are today?
Thank you so much, Robin. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'd be happy to. And it really, I want to say that today, I'm here not just as a presenter, but as a survivor. Um, and in my world, I consider myself a warrior in my own right, mainly because I've journeyed through, the dark valleys of illness, and emerged, angelically, with a story to tell. And my battle with illness was not just a fight for survival, it was a journey that reshaped my entire perspective on life, health, and wellness. And I would just say that that's a simplified version of really where it all began.
Well, that's so powerful. Perfect for you to be here on this podcast of Over 40 and Fabulous, because you're absolutely fabulous.
And we're not going to talk about how old I am.
Well, one of the topics that you talk about frequently is the difference between activation, and supplementation. And a lot of nutritional companies focus merely on supplementation. That's building blocks for our body cells. But you and I are both part of companies that also look and more focused on activating our cells and activating um, the ability for our bodies to heal themselves, basically. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about this, because I know you're talking about a lot of activation and supplementation.
Yes. And I think what's really important, is to simplify that concept. All right. So we're really talking about addressing health and wellness from the inside out, from the cellular level. And a lot of people say, well, what does that mean? And, what's very important for people to understand is obviously we're not here today to get technical, but there is science behind this. And it's all there. It's all available on PubMed.gov. And I encourage people, if they have any questions on some of the things that I talk about, to do that, to go there, because that's where it's all clearly noted. But when you talk about activating your body, it's as though you have a brand new playing field for your health. Does that make sense? I simply state for people to begin to understand. Supplementation, in my opinion, happens in the body, where activation happens inside your body. So when we talk about that concept of your body literally becoming an activating production machine, there are ways to do that. And we're not going to necessarily talk about that, because what's really important is for everyone to understand that we are looking at the cells, we are addressing glutathione, mitochondria, we are addressing NRF2. There are so many different areas that play a role in activating those cells. And then when you bring into that concept the impact that oxidative stress has on aging, they're all connected.
This is all connected. And these are all these pathways you talked about are all natural, healthy pathways in our body.
Correct.
But as we age, they become inefficient.
That is correct.
And also as we, well, just one thing I know, anything we eat actually talks to our body, our cells get information from it. And they get information, and the information, if you eat well, very healthy, if it's good information, if you have poor diet, then that decline goes quicker.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think people realize that when I discovered the power of nutrition and exercise and mindfulness in healing, it doesn't heal just the body, but it heals the soul.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's, one of the reasons why I am so passionate about health and wellness, because I lived through a consequence of probably neglecting my body, neglecting how I was doing it, right? Because again, it's one thing that leads to another. So obviously we have our cells, which again, people think that they just replenish themselves. No, you have to feed them. When once you start to feed them, and I do that through activation versus supplementation, then you start to reap the benefits and see the results. And I did mention before, and I want to make sure that people understand, when I talk about oxidative stress and the impact that it has on aging, it also has an impact on how you address illness.
I'd love you to tell more about that. Yeah, about oxidative stress.
Thank you. I'd be happy to. So just to define oxidative stress, it is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And this can cause damage to your organs, tissues, and ultimately various diseases. So again, I mentioned before the ability to combat disease. So you can obviously help your body maintain balance by living a healthier lifestyle. So, we talk about free radicals. What are free radicals? People even know what that is. Well, your phone, your computer. What about that orange air we got from Canada? Okay? All of this external plays a role. So, it's the reaction to the free radicals, right? That is called oxidation. So, and they can obviously be harmful. So we want to make sure we're activating in order to fight that. And of course, activation plays a role on the inflammation in your body. They're all connected.
Yeah, it is connected. Inflammation is connected with so many things, and oxidative stress is basically triggers more inflammation in our body. And actually, besides even external sources of free radicals as we age and as the cells become less efficient,
Mm-hmm.
less as the mitochondria becomes less efficient, it actually throws off more free radicals.
And
So
we
we're
both
making them.
know
We're
you have
making
to
free
have healthy
radicals.
mitochondria,
Right.
right? That's critical.
Right.
And what people don't necessarily understand is that oxidation is a normal and necessary process that takes place in your body.
And inflammation is, oxidation and inflammation is normal.
And you want to listen to your body, right? You want to listen, you want to understand why you feel the way you feel. And that's why when I work with my clients, I emphasize how important it is to document how you're feeling every day. I mean, if you think about people doing that, every time your doctor said, "So, Suze, when did you start having that knee pain?" I don't know. Well, guess what? You want to know. You need to track and document because that's really part of your commitment to better health and wellness.
One of the ways that activating our cell is by a certain kind of antioxidant inside our cell. And so when we're fighting these free radicals, we have great help when our own cells are working with us. I call these endogenous antioxidants, but all it means is the cells make it themselves. And they work so well. They work more, like you said a little earlier, something like a blueberry or something, it's not one-to-one.
Not a one-to-one, right.
It's not a one-to-one. Yeah, these enzymes in our body actually fight free radicals hundreds and hundreds of times. So you're right. You called it activating your body to heal itself, really.
And I know from my own health journey that, wouldn't you say that that's really an element of functional medicine?
Yeah.
Healing your body. Healing, providing you the tools for your body to heal itself. That is powerful.
It is very powerful.
And that's my goal when I work with my clients. And people are, I think a little taken back by that. Maybe they think it's a little hokey, but in truth, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And when you wake up and you feel differently and you're energized, okay? Most people my age are not cycling and playing pickleball. They're not. I mean, listen,
and running.
I hate playing pickleball and running and whatever. But honestly, the power of activation.
And that I love how it expands and improves as you do that. So you're taking a product that actually has helped this activation. Did you know the exercise also helps the activation?
It does.
And so, it builds on yourself, and you get the energy. Yeah. I always look at a lot of different aspects of health and wellness, and if I can get someone started on one thing, it's going to help them start other habits that actually help their whole life and live proactively. I mean, that is really so important, is to take that proactive approach to health, not wait until you fall into just give up. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Well, I truly believe that. And, I believe that when you're sharing your wellness and your health options with people, the goal is for us to educate.
Mm-hmm.
Because unfortunately, most people don't know this. They have no idea. and they're just popping supplements, don't know what's in it, don't know the value add, and that what's the point of that?
Mhm.
I don't see the point of that. And I know that when I got involved in this world, it's now since 2019, my life has changed. And what's really the greatest feeling is how I've changed and helped others. Because that is my mission in life, is to touch and support and serve others.
Applaud you.
Thank you. Again, I don't use the word help. I don't help people. You know what? When you ask somebody, can I help you? Does it connote a positive response? Rarely. But when you approach people and you say, how can I serve you?
Hmm.
Doesn't that open your heart?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes you, and it made me, more open to finding out what this is all about. And then jumping in with both feet. Because, I truly believe I did my research. I know the science behind activation. And now I'm living proof.
And one
Yeah.
of the fascinating things about activation is you can pinpoint it to a lot of different specific pathways in your body. So
Exactly.
there's some that pinpoints, metabolism. There's some that pinpoints the mitochondrial renewal, and there's some that make these enzymes. There's just all kinds, so many different pathways in our body that are all natural pathways that if you get the right plant nutrients, which we can't make ourselves, but they needed to actually start our body to be able to run these pathways in a more healthy way.
And I just recently learned some information about, really understanding the healthy protein that you want to eat. Like there's so many different areas that you need to address when you're talking about pain, inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of, issues. Look at how many people are dealing with arthritis as we age.
Mm-hmm.
Well, arthritis is a form of inflammation.
I don't know if you know, but now it's 45 years ago.
Oh, really?
But about over 20 years ago, about 25, 30 years ago, I was working in a lab that was researching inflammation.
Right.
And we found that it's so all interconnected. If you have extra inflammation going on, and there's a lot of reasons you could be having it, it triggers pain in specific areas. So some could be led up to the arthritis. Some, it could be heart issues. It could be different issues according to the individual. And to have the ability to actually have products that can go in and help those specific areas is phenomenal.
And it's interesting too because, take something like collagen. Everyone used to think, oh, collagen is just about hair, skin, and nails. Wrong. It's about joint health. It's about heart health. Has a direct impact on inflammation. Unfortunately, we stopped producing collagen, in our 20s?
I don't know what the age is, but yeah, we do.
When I was last
time.
informed. Yeah. And
We do.
when you think about it, so, if you can activate your body, just imagine the impact it would have on you.
Well, you're a living example, and I would say I'm a living example too.
That, Robin.
Because I've been doing this for 20 years, and I feel so much better now.
And I
than I
love
did 20
the fact that we've connected because I learned so much from you, Robin. And again, that whole concept, for us both, we are fully aligned with the concept of being proactive about your health.
Absolutely. So thank you so much.
Mm.
If anyone, I will have show notes with your contact information in it. So be sure to, if you're watching the video, be sure to look down, check the show notes. Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, Robin. I am happy to be a part of your community, and I encourage each and every one of you who are watching today to join Robin's community. You will always feel welcome, and there will always be something for you to learn and ultimately embrace. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.
And you too as well. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for joining me at my Over 40 and Fabulous podcast. Please let me know if you have any questions about this episode. I will publish new episodes at noon Eastern on Saturdays, so you can listen and watch at your convenience. If this podcast has been helpful for you, please share it on your favorite social media platform or share directly with your fantastic friends. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next episode.